Yes, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing out there? My name is Gary St. John. Welcome to Gary's Viewpoint Podcast, where I talk about everything from sports in the sports world. I'm here to express myself and give you all my sports takes and viewpoints on everything sports related. We're going to start with the show off talking about the NBA playoffs, and we're also going to talk about the Knicks. Are the New York Knicks the favorite to win the NBA championship? So let's dig into it. Let's talk about it. We're going to start from last night's game between the Spurs and the OKC Thunder. It was an intense game, very intense, playoff atmosphere. Both teams going at it from the defensive end, offensive end. We had a lot of issues within the game. Some technical foul related incidents that should have been called weren't called. Wemby with the elbow to Hartenstein's mouth, which wasn't called a flagrant foul. We'll let that go, but it's been a physical playoff series, so we kind of expected that to happen throughout that game. Game 7 on the road, crowds going crazy. The Spurs brought their A game. They came out with a victory. Throughout the game, they fought hard. They stayed in the game. They stayed with the lead. The Thunder fought back. They tried to make it the game. SGA was being SGA. Basically, he kept him in the game. He had the mid-range going. He was effective from the outside. He played great defense. He was getting everybody involved. But it needed more than Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for them to win the basketball game. When you talk about his scoring, he ended up scoring 35 points. But he didn't really have great help from everybody else. He had Casey Wallace, which stepped up, hit some big shots late. You had Chet Holmgren, which I'm very disappointed in, because Chet Holmgren is supposed to be the second best player on the floor with Jay Will out with injury, right? So Chet Holmgren only scored 4 points, 1 or 2 from the field. You cannot win a basketball game with your big man that's supposed to be your best player only scoring 4 points, only 2 field goals. He wasn't looking for his shot. He wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't going after Wemby. You got to take it as a big task with you being the max player at that level to go out and perform. He was very subpar throughout the whole series. Wemby basically punked him. He had no answer. It feels like he had no heart. Like, you're 7'1". I know Wemby's 7'5". He got a long wingspan, but Chet Holmgren is not 6'2". He's 7'1". You gotta go out. You gotta go at Wemby, and you gotta make it tough on him. Wemby was out there playing free safety on the defensive end because he had nobody else going at him one-on-one. So all he had to do was like stand around and wait to see where the action is going from. And all he had to do is attack that side of the floor where the action is going. So every time SGA had a chance to go to the basket, there go Wemby. 7'5", right in his face, and made it tough for him all night, basically, to get to the basket. That's why SGA had to rely on the mid-range all night, because he couldn't get to the basket at will. So the defense, the OKC Thunder coaching staff should have realized that, hey, we got to go at Wemby on the defensive end, because we got to get our bigs. We got to go one-on-one matchup or make it tough on him where he can't just rely back playing as a free safety in football terms and dictating where the ball's going to go, and he's on that side of the floor every time. So that was a mistake on their part. And with Chet Holmgren not playing well, why did you play him 30 plus minutes? You played him 30 plus minutes knowing that he wasn't giving you anything offensively. Defensively, he wasn't that great. And in offensive and defensive glass, he didn't give you anything to count for. He gave you 4 rebounds. You're not going to win a playoff game, especially at that level, with your big man grabbing 4 rebounds. So that was a letdown. That was a big letdown. I understand a lot of people out there online talking about, oh, let's trade Chet Holmgren. Let's fall back a little bit. He wasn't aggressive, we know that. He wasn't looking for his shots. He wasn't going at Wemby. But listen, Chet Holmgren is a good player. Is he a superstar player? No. As after these playoffs, we've seen that. But we got to give him a chance to right his wrong by going out in the offseason and getting better. He got to get better with his shot selection. He got to stay aggressive throughout the game and pick his spots on the floor where he could score and make an effect on the game. So in the offseason, he has a lot of work to do. He has to get on the block, work on his post-up game, work on his game at the elbow. He got to go from the elbow in. He cannot rely on the three-point shot. Yes, we know he could shoot threes. He's good at shooting threes. But in the NBA, in the modern NBA, per se, we have basically let big men think that they could be a stretch 4, stretch 5, and all they do is shoot threes. You cannot be 7-1 and think that you're going to go out there and basically just shoot 3-point shots. You have to mix it up. You have to mix it up from inside, outside. You cannot rely on the 3-point shot. This is why today's NBA is a little bit hard to watch sometimes, because they have become 3-point heavy, which they rely on the 3-point shot way too much, especially for big guys that should be dominating inside at their size. If you have the size, you're 7'1", you should be dominating inside. It doesn't matter if you're going against a 7'5" center. Charles Barkley was 6'6", and he was guarding power forwards, which were not 6'9" and 6'10". So there's no excuse. I don't want to hear no excuse from Chet Holmgren, which is 7'1", talking about he can't go at Victor Wembanyama, which is 7'5". There's no excuse for it. You let your team down. You weren't being aggressive. You weren't living in the moment and playing at your best. Now it's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned that he's gonna look at himself hard, be like, hey, I could have done better to help my team win. I should have done better to help my team win. And he has to realize that, hey, I gotta work on my game. There's this parts of my game that I gotta be better at, so that way we could be in the same spot or better next season. Because I believe the OKC Thunder should have been representing the West in the NBA championship. There's no way I thought that they would have lost Game 7 at home. With that crowd, with the experience, with being champions a year ago, this was their game to take over, and they did not do it. Now, they can only look at themselves in the mirror. Certain mistakes they made defensively. They got killed on the offensive glass, on the defensive glass in the second half. They didn't grab no rebounds. So the Spurs had a lot of second chance opportunities. So those second chance opportunities basically hurt them, because the Spurs were knocking down 3-point shots all second half. And the OKC Thunder didn't really have an answer for them. So you have to have an answer for a team that's hot from the 3-point line like that, which they didn't have an answer. It was a great series. It was fun to watch. One of the best series of the playoffs so far. It went 7 games, which I expected it to go 7 games because throughout the regular season, these two teams didn't really like each other. They kept going at each other all season long, which prepared for this matchup, which everybody was waiting for. And I was waiting for it. I was excited for this matchup, and it did not disappoint me not one bit. Certain series in the playoffs have disappointed you with teams getting swept and stuff like that. But this series really, like this is where the NBA is at. Like when it's a 7-game series, hard fought, top level basketball being played on both ends, which we know both of these teams are very good defensively. So it made it a fun series. It made it like must-see TV. The NBA is basically like at its best right now. Let's switch it up and talk about the Knicks. The Knicks, they've been rolling, man. I gotta give them credit. You know what I mean? They had a subpar tough series with the Atlanta Hawks, where they were in a little trouble. You know what I mean? Like they were down in the series. They let the Hawks get a little confidence. They came back and won the last 3, I believe, and then they were able to come out of that series. But that series was a test for them to realize, hey, if we want to be NBA champions, we have to bring it every night, which is something they had trouble doing throughout the regular season. Throughout the regular season, there's some games that they lost. You kind of scratch your head like, wait a minute, why is this team supposed to be a better team under Mike Brown? The offense is supposed to be flowing. They're supposed to be better defensively because Mike Brown is a great defensive coach. Why are they losing certain games that they should win? So the habits throughout the regular season kind of caught up with them in the first round of the playoffs. So they kind of changed that a little bit, changed that narrative that, hey, we could win big games and we could step up in big moments and then we could get better from there. So they got better from there. They played the Sixers in the second round. Philly, man. Nobody expect the Sixers to do anything. Not with a hobbled Joel Embiid, with Paul George, aging Paul George. Tyrese Maxey really couldn't find his shot. He kind of lost his confidence throughout that series. You could tell he didn't have anything going. So it wasn't that tough for the Knicks at all. Then again, I'm surprised Philly didn't win 1 game, but it is what it is. They moved on. The next round against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers had a 22-point lead with 6.5 minutes to go. How do you blow a 22-point lead with 6.5 to go in the fourth quarter? That's unheard of. At that moment, you're thinking, when they had the 22-point lead, at that moment, you're thinking like, hey, the Knicks won't let one get away. If they let this one get away, they might be in trouble, just like they were in the first round of the playoffs, right? So they had James Harden guarding Jalen Brunson. Basically, Jalen Brunson just took him to school. You cannot put James Harden out on an island by himself guarding Jalen Brunson. He's going to take advantage of that matchup every time. So every time he took advantage of it, and he basically had a great fourth quarter, and the Knicks came out on top in the overtime period. They let one slip away. They didn't change anything offensively. They didn't change anything defensively. So they messed up big time by letting that game get away from them. And when you let that type of game go, that you had a big lead like that, and you let that game get away from you, and you end up losing the game, it does something to your confidence. So you could tell that the Cleveland Cavaliers weren't the same team. Their confidence were basically shot. They basically didn't play with the same intensity, the same energy. Basically, the defense wasn't there at all. You could tell throughout that series, their confidence level was basically like gone. And you could tell the Knicks noticed that, and they just took advantage of it. You got to give him credit. I got to give Mike Brown a big credit. Mike Brown realized that we weren't going to win the championship, or get to the championship actually, by playing the style of basketball that we were playing. Basically, they were playing the same style of basketball under Coach Tibbs, right? It was point guard, ball dominant heavy, with Jalen Brunson basically handling the basketball and being a ball dominant point guard. You are not going to win a championship, or even close to it, with your point guard being ball dominant. Without the ball moving around, with everybody touching the basketball, spreading the wealth, get everybody involved, you're not going to win like that. So I think Mike Brown noticed that. So he saw that basically, hey, we got to move the ball around. We got to get everybody else involved. We got to get more shots, more effective shots. That way, everybody could feel like they're a part of the team. Mikal Bridges basically had a tough series against the Hawks. But when you get him shots, you get him in position where he could get the basketball to where he's comfortable. That's when he's going to feel the confidence that he should feel to play at a better level. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was basically not knocking Mikal Bridges. But how can you not knock a guy where he's not getting the touches that he should get, and he's not getting the ball at certain spots where he's comfortable getting them? You can't knock him for that. Because he's basically not getting a lot of shots. He's not getting shots where he's normally confident in getting them. The shots are not going to fall, and he's not going to play with confidence. So the ball, he has to touch the basketball. At some point, he's a great defensive player, but offensively he can do some things. But you got to get him the basketball at certain parts of the game. With Jalen Brunson being ball dominant, that wasn't helping Mikal Bridges at all. And I'm glad that Mike Brown saw that and decided to change his offensive schemes to better the team and better everybody else in the team altogether. And ball started moving. Everybody started feeling confident. Even Karl-Anthony Towns, at certain parts of the Atlanta series, there's like trips down the court where he didn't touch the basketball at all. You cannot have your all-star center not touch the basketball at all, or not take one shot in the fourth quarter. That's not a recipe for success. So kudos to Mike Brown. Kudos to Mike Brown for changing the offense and realizing that we had to do something different than what we were doing to get to a success level that we wanted to. So shout out to Mike Brown. Shout out to the Knicks. They made it to the championship. It's going to be a big matchup against the San Antonio Spurs. This is not Atlanta. This is not the Sixers. And this is not the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Knicks have a tough road ahead for them. They got to figure it out. You're this hot team and winning 11 straight that everybody's talking about. Yeah, you won 11 straight. But let's see what you can do in the finals. The finals are gonna be where we think the Knicks are this great team. Let's see it. Let's see. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see how the Knicks come out and be this great team that everybody's talking about. Jalen Brunson been scoring the basketball real well this playoffs. He's basically averaging almost 27 points per game, 6 assists. He's been shooting the ball real well. He's gonna be a tough cover. De'Aaron Fox is gonna be a tough cover for you, but he's gonna need some help. He's gonna need some help. You cannot let him be there alone trying to guard Jalen Brunson. I know the Spurs are a good defensive team. They're good at their defensive rotations. They get to their spots. They rotate. They help out like very effectively. So I expect for them to make it hard for Jalen Brunson going forward in the next series. So Jalen Brunson, like you cannot try to be a hero at this stage. You have to keep doing what you guys were doing by sharing the wealth, moving the basketball, get everybody else involved, putting the ball in Karl Anthony Towns' hand, being the point center, and let him make this decision, spreading the wealth. You guys stay at your spot, stay open at the 3-point line, and move the basketball, get the pick and roll going. Because you're gonna need to change a lot of things and continue to do the same things that you were doing before, but change some things and for you to offset this Spurs defense, because the Spurs defense is elite. They're an elite defensive team. Because when I was watching the matchup against OKC, I'm like, I thought OKC was the best defensive team in the league. But when I saw the San Antonio Spurs, they're an elite defensive team. And it starts with their center, Victor Wembanyama. He's averaging 3.5 blocks per game in these playoffs. 3.5 blocks per game. So it's going to be tough for the Knicks if they think they're going to go one-on-one and fall into their old habits and try to score that way. But we'll see. It's going to be a tough series. It's going to come down to who's more effective on both sides of the ball, who's willing to share the ball, share the wealth, get some good shots, not try to play hero ball. Get your you gotta win your matchups. You gotta win certain matchups on the floor. You gotta know where certain spots are on the floor where cats could get the ball and score at will. You gotta be able to put Wemby in the pick and roll. Because Karl Anthony Towns, you have to use Karl Anthony Towns to put Wemby in the pick and roll and get him away from the basket. You got to get him away from the right basket. You got to put a body on him, make him guard somebody. You cannot do what the OKC Thunder did in their series and allow Victor Wembanyama to play free safety and just stand there and wait and see which side of the ball he should cover. You have to make it tough on him. You have to. So remember, Knicks, it's going to come down to the matchups. It's going to come down to the decision making. It's going to come down to the shot making. Let's see what you got. Like I said, this said the Cleveland Cavaliers. This ain't Cleveland. So bring your A game, because it's the finals. You haven't been in the finals in 27 years. In 27 years, you guys haven't been to the finals. This is your shot to make it big and get back to championship winning in New York City. I mean, I'm not a Knicks fan, I'm just saying. But it's exciting to see what the Knicks are doing. It's exciting to see basketball in New York City get into that level again, where everybody's basically hyped and ready, and that's all everybody's talking about. We'll see what the Knicks can do. But the Spurs, they are a tough matchup. They're a tough cover. They're a tough cover. Victor Wembanyama, you know he's gonna bring his A game. You know he's gonna go at the rim. He's gonna stay aggressive. He's gonna block shots. He's gonna run the floor. Karl Anthony Towns, you cannot take nights off. You can't take nights off, Karl Anthony Towns. If you think you're gonna take nights off against Wemby, you have another thing coming. You cannot look like Chet Holmgren against Victor Wembanyama. Chet didn't do anything in that series. But I believe Karl Anthony Towns is a much better player than that. He's an all-world basketball player. And I've said that a lot about Cat. Cat is a great player with his offensive skills. He's very good offensively. Defensively, he's gotten better than what he was, but his skill set is elite. I like his game a lot. A lot of people will get down on him and stuff like that. So, because sometimes he doesn't get aggressive enough. He doesn't. It seems like he doesn't take it as serious as he should. But he's an elite basketball player, and it's going to be interesting to see how his approach is to being in the finals and going up against Wemby. Because when Wemby's not playing, man. I'm telling you guys right now, Victor Wembanyama is not playing games. He seems like he's hungry. He's only 22 years old, 23 years old. I think he's only 22. He's hungry. He's ready to win a championship right now. So if you're the New York Knicks, Mike Brown, you got your work cut out for you, brother. You got your work cut out for you. You gotta do something. We'll see what the Knicks are gonna do. Are they fit with doing the championship? I would say no. This Spurs team is something different. I think the Spurs are really gonna come out on top. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong, Knicks. Prove me wrong. Don't start sending me messages online and hating on me. I'm just giving you my viewpoint. It's called Garry's viewpoint for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's called Garry's viewpoint for a reason. So I'm just giving you my viewpoint out there. The Spurs are an elite basketball team. Dylan Harper, I'm surprised with how well this rookie's playing. He's playing some great basketball, man, for his first year in the league, and the confidence that he has, and the demeanor that he has. He's playing with so much confidence, so much poise. I'm happy to see that he could get to play like that at such a young age, and only his first year in the league. He's gonna be something special. His dad was something special. Ron Harper was something special back in his early days, and then later on when he played for the Chicago Bulls. But Dylan Harper is something special. I'm happy to see what he's been able to do, and how well he's been able to play. So it's going to be a tough matchup, but we'll see. We'll see. I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening to me. This is the first episode of Garry's Viewpoint. Continue to support this channel. Continue to support me as I bring you my sports takes every week. I thank you guys a lot. Again, Don't forget to subscribe, to hit the like button. Thank you for listening to Garry's Viewpoint. And as always, don't forget to express yourself.